I got this new cross that I liked, and guess what I did? I made it. Why not? All right, you're a true gentleman. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you won't mind. And then the black diamond one. This is my favorite one. This is what you want. It's on tracksnyc.com. I don't know where 50 got his, but I know where I got mine.
Right now, sitting in New York City's Diamond District, there's a jeweler who quietly built a whole empire allegedly off-selling questionable pieces to rappers, passing off lower-quality gold as something way more premium, recreating celebrity-style chains, and even putting famous faces on products those celebrities never signed off on or even knew existed. For years, nobody really called it out. But then 50 Cent caught wind of it, and if you know him, you already know that never ends quietly. What followed? A full-blown chain reaction that escalated fast. We're talking about a $5 million federal lawsuit, plus a chaotic physical altercation right in the Diamond District that blew up all over social media. There were arrests, a heated public confrontation, and even a moment where someone got grabbed by their own chain in the middle of the madness. And somehow every single piece of this drama leads back to one name: Tracks NYC. You need to see how all of this connects. So let's break it down. Before diving into the chaos, it's important to understand who this guy actually is, because Tracks NYC isn't just some random internet name. His real name is Maksud Dajani, but online and in the streets, people know him simply as Tracks.
I got this new cross that I liked, and guess what I did? I made it. Why not? All right, it comes in different colors, styles. 50, thank you for the inspiration. You're a true gentleman. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you won't mind. And then the black diamond one. This is my favorite one. This is what you want. It's on tracksnyc.com. I don't know where 50 got his, but I know where I got mine.
Clip: he runs a celebrity-style jewelry business right in the heart of Manhattan's Diamond District, 64 West 47th Street, to be exact. And that address? It carries serious weight. On the surface, everything looked legit. This is where big money moves, where rappers come for chains, where athletes show off status. The Diamond District is basically the center of the jewelry world in America, and Tracks NYC planted itself right in the middle of it. And this wasn't some small hustle either. We're talking over 3.5 million Instagram followers, fully verified, widely recognized. He's been linked with names like Busta Rhymes, Kodak Black, and even Mr. Beast, yes, the same YouTube giant with hundreds of millions of subscribers. The spotlight didn't stop there. He even popped up in a Hollywood film. Remember Uncut Gems? That intense Adam Sandler movie set inside a chaotic jewelry shop? Tracks actually had a role in it. A jeweler stepping into that world felt a little too real, no exaggeration. So from the outside, everything checked out. He had influence, visibility, and a client base trusting him with both money and image. But here's the reality of building a name in the Diamond District everyone's watching. In a place where image is everything, some people build their own brand, and others lean a little too hard on someone else's identity. And that's where things start to crack. Fast forward to summer 2024. 50 Cent Curtis Jackson himself, the G-Unit boss, known for turning losses into wins and never hesitating to take legal action, starts noticing something off on his timeline about Tracks. Tracks NYC was posting non-stop on TikTok and Instagram video after video. In these clips, he's holding chains, crosses, pendants, and right next to them, you see 50 Cent's face, his name, his image, all being used to promote the jewelry. No approval, no deal, no payment. And here's where it gets wild. He wasn't even subtle about it. He was loud with it, public with it. At one point, he posted a photo of 50 Cent and Drake together and captioned it, "Yo, hey 50 Cent, you should be a jeweler. Hit tracksnyc.com or call 212-TRACKS-NYC. Think about that." He tagged 50 directly, using his image to promote jewelry like it was all official. And that wasn't even the boldest move. In August, Tracks took it even further on TikTok. He filmed himself holding a cross chain that looked extremely similar to one 50 Cent had been seen wearing. Then he looked straight into the camera and said, "We just jacked your style. I know you watch my videos, and now I'm watching yours, and jacking yours just like you jacked mine." He said it openly. No hesitation. Basically told 50 Cent, one of the most known figures for taking legal action, that he copied his style and wasn't backing down. At this point, a smarter move would have been to quietly delete everything and move on. But Tracks? He doubled down. And once 50 saw everything, he responded exactly how you'd expect. First, a warning. He posted on Instagram, "This was a bad idea. You will regret doing this, I promise." Not subtle at all. But instead of stepping back, Tracks fired back saying, You don't got better things to worry about, family? He really told 50 Cent to focus on something else. That's not something just anyone can say, especially to someone like 50, and Trax clearly wasn't in that small group who could say it without consequences. Then came October 10th, 2024. That date matters. 50 Cent, through his company NYC Vibe LLC, took it straight to federal court, filing an 18-page lawsuit against Maksud Dejani and Trax NYC. And this wasn't small. He was going for at least $5 million in damages. Reports from TMZ Hip Hop showed just how serious it was. The case focused on trademark issues and the unauthorized use of 50's likeness, but it went deeper. According to the complaint, the defendants allegedly created close copies of a necklace originally designed exclusively for 50 Cent, not just inspired pieces near replicas. The claim? They took a custom design made specifically for him, reproduced it, and then used his image to promote those copies in a way that made it seem like there was an official connection. And the lawsuit didn't stop there. It clearly stated, Jackson did not purchase his necklace from defendants, and Jackson has never authorized defendants to capitalize on his goodwill and reputation in order to promote their goods and services. That's direct. No confusion. And speaking of confusion, people were already being misled. Court documents even included real comments from Trax's YouTube posts where fans were saying things like, "I'm a big 50 Cent fan. I want the silver and gold." These weren't random reactions. People genuinely believed there was a connection. That's not accidental, and it's not just a misunderstanding. That's a serious problem. 50's legal team made sure that point hit hard in court. His rep kept it simple. Mr. Jackson takes the unauthorized use of his name and likeness for commercial purposes seriously. Message was clear: handle it or face the consequences. But here's the twist. Even after a federal lawsuit, Trax didn't go quiet. Instead, he jumped back on Instagram, holding a cross chain, trying to appeal to 50 on a personal level. He said, "Yo, 50, a cross is meant for forgiveness, redemption. Forgive, forget, let it go, brother." And 50? He responded almost instantly, "Let me think about it. Now you tried to play with me. You know the vibes by Monday." That right there made one thing clear: this situation was far from over. But wait, it actually gets crazier depending on how you look at it. Trax's next move? A full-blown publicity stunt. He hopped in his car, drove out to South Jamaica, Queens 50 Cent's old neighborhood, and started handing out silver bars to locals. He claimed they were worth over $50,000, saying he was giving away a kilo for 50. Just pause on that. He pulled up to 50 Cent's own neighborhood in the middle of an active federal lawsuit and turned it into a giveaway event. That's either bold marketing or a seriously risky play. Maybe both. Either way, it didn't land how he might have hoped. By May 2025, the legal pressure was stacking up fast. Dejani eventually issued a public apology both online and at his store, admitting he used 50 Cent's name, image, and intellectual property without permission. He removed all related content, expressed regret, and in the end, 50 decided it was handled. The lawsuit? Officially dismissed. Case closed. But here's what most people didn't catch while all that was going on. While everyone focused on the legal battle, other claims were quietly starting to surface, things that made the situation with 50 look small by comparison. Now this is where everything starts connecting on a bigger level. While Trax NYC was dealing with court issues, reports began popping up about questionable activity inside the Diamond District itself, and it paints a much wider picture of how things were really operating. Because West 47th Street isn't just one store. It's a packed building full of separate booths, each run by different sellers. Inside, it's a whole different world. Jewelers working side by side, all competing for the same customers. And in that kind of setup, reputation is everything. If your name holds weight, people come looking for you directly, asking for your pieces by name. And that's exactly what someone was allegedly taking advantage of. According to Dejani, another jewelry operation in the same building, AK Diamonds, run by two brothers, Georgia K. and Freddie AK, was stepping in when customers specifically asked for Trax NYC. The claim? When customers walked in looking for Trax pieces, employees would allegedly redirect them, saying Trax NYC didn't have the item, but offering something just as good. Same quality. Same gold, same craftsmanship. But according to these claims, that wasn't true. And this is where things get serious. Because now we're talking about misrepresented materials. One customer reportedly came back to Dejani with a bracelet they paid $22,000 for. They believed it was either from Trax NYC or at least equivalent quality from the same building. They were told it was 14-karat gold with high-quality stones. The real deal. Or so they thought. Dejani tested the bracelet on camera with the customer sitting right there. The result? 10-karat gold. Not 14. That's not a small difference. It matters more than people realize. Let's break it down simple. 14-karat gold is about 58% pure gold. 10-karat? Around 42%. That gap directly affects both value and quality. So if someone pays $22,000 expecting 14K and gets 10K instead, that's a major mismatch between what was promised and what was delivered. Now imagine if that wasn't a one-time situation. If something like that happened repeatedly, now you're looking at a pattern, not a mistake. The claim here is that lower-grade gold may have been presented as higher-quality pieces while using Trax NYC's name to draw people in. And that's what makes this situation stand out. It ties together reputation, marketing, and product quality in one story. Here's the part people have been whispering about for years. The Diamond District has always had a mixed reputation. For every legit jeweler doing clean business, there have also been concerns about quality, grading, and whether products actually match what's advertised. Stories have floated around about gold not meeting expectations, stones not matching certifications, and customers paying premium prices for pieces that didn't quite add up. But this moment, it was different. Because now it was public, a live test, proof on camera, the customer right there watching it unfold. And once that video hit the internet, it blew up overnight. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, thousands of reactions poured in. People didn't just question that one bracelet, they started questioning the entire system. Comments turned into debates. Some defended their favorite jewelers. Others shared their own experiences, saying things never quite felt right when they made purchases. It became a full-on conversation about trust, quality, and how easily people rely on reputation without really knowing what they're getting. And while all eyes were on that viral clip, more details were quietly coming out behind the scenes, details suggesting this situation might run deeper than anyone first thought. Dejani didn't hold back. He said, "This is the receipt of this company that pretends to be me. They sold my customer their bracelet and misled him on the gold." Then he added, "This has happened over and over again, and I kept letting it slide." That says a lot. If it wasn't the first time, it points to repeated incidents and possibly more customers who never even realized what happened. So now the bigger question becomes, how many people walked away thinking they got one thing, but actually got something else? We're talking everyday buyers, but possibly high-profile clients too. Then comes January 1st, 2026, New Year's Day. While most people were still recovering from the night before, Dejani dropped a video on Instagram laying everything out. Receipts. Gold test. Full breakdown. Within hours, it pulled millions of views and had people locked in. By January 2nd, around 2:30 p.m., he decided he wasn't waiting anymore. He wanted answers and a resolution for that $22,000 bracelet. So he went straight back to the Diamond District. Bracelet in hand. Camera rolling. The footage? Intense. He walks up to the AK Diamonds booth, confronts them directly, and demands answers. "Where's my money? You said VVS 14 karat and you're using my name." Security steps in. People from nearby booths gather. A crowd starts forming. But Dejani doesn't move. He's holding the receipt, holding the bracelet, laying everything out like he's presenting a case in real time. For a second, it looks like things might cool down. He gets pulled back, but it doesn't last. He steps in again, and that's when everything flips. One of the men at the booth spits directly in his face. On camera, clear as day. No confusion, no debate. And instantly the energy shifts. What started as a confrontation turns into chaos. Pushing, shouting, people jumping in. The situation spirals fast inside a place known for business, not fights. Afterward, Dejani posts hospital photos, visible marks on his neck, redness, saying someone grabbed him with his own chain. He also shows a mark on his head, claiming he was struck during the chaos. In his caption, he says, "These scammers spat in my face and tried to seriously hurt me." Authorities stepped in. After reviewing everything, 2 individuals, Georgia K. and Freddie K., were taken into custody and faced assault-related charges. Footage of them being let out in handcuffs spread everywhere: Reddit, X, TikTok, Instagram. By the next morning, Trax NYC, AK Diamonds, and the Diamond District were all trending together. Dejani later appeared on Auden Ross's live stream, clearly shaken, but still standing firm. He said, "I'm not here to be spat on. I'm not here to be attacked. I'm not here to deal with any of this." And he didn't hold back after that either. They got arrogant. They got blinded by greed. You get blinded by your mistakes and then you mess things up. That's what happens. He made his stance clear and said he's planning to take further legal action. But this is where people really need to pay attention, because what happened inside that building goes way beyond one fight and a couple of arrests. The bigger picture? That's what stands out. Think about it. Trax NYC built its entire image around celebrity culture. Names like Busta Rhymes, Kodak Black, and Mr. Beast. Their social media is packed with high-profile faces and flashy pieces. That's the image people bought into. But at the same time, there are claims, some even caught on camera and tested in real time, that inside that very same building, another booth may have been using the Trax NYC name to move lower-quality gold to customers who didn't know any better. Those buyers thought they were getting something tied to the same brand they saw online, connected to their favorite artists. They believed what they were wearing matched what they saw on stage or all over social media. Instead, in at least one case, someone dropped $22,000 expecting 14 karat and walked away with 10 karat. That difference? It raises serious questions. So now the real question is, how many other situations like that slipped through unnoticed? How many purchases were never tested, never questioned? And how many receipts are floating around tied to pieces that might not match what was promised? This isn't just a Trax NYC story anymore. It's a window into the entire world of celebrity jewelry culture and how easy it is for things to get twisted. When rappers flex chains on Instagram, demand spikes instantly. Fans want the same look, same style, same shine. And when they can't get the exact piece, they're often willing to accept whatever they're told is close enough. That's how the system runs. And now, for the first time, someone stepped in front of a camera with a receipt and a gold tester and showed people in real time how things can actually play out behind the scenes. But on the flip side, AK Diamonds isn't backing down either. They dropped CCTV footage showing the same customer allegedly visiting multiple booths before ending up at their spot. That adds another layer, suggesting there could be more to the story than what was first shown. They've denied all the claims. And as of now, nothing has been officially proven in court. Still, the footage, the test, the receipt, the arrests, and the legal action being lined up, that's what people are reacting to right now. Now step back and look at everything that happened in such a short time. Within about 18 months, Dejani ends up in a $5 million lawsuit with 50 Cent over allegedly using his image to promote jewelry without approval. That alone is huge. Then on top of that, he's right in the middle of a viral Diamond District altercation where the core claim is that another business may have been using his name to sell lower quality gold to customers who thought they were getting something legit. Do you see the irony? The same person accused of using 50 Cent's image without permission now claims his own name and reputation were used without approval to sell lower grade products. It all circles back in a way that's hard to ignore. In a space like this, what's real and what's not eventually comes out. But here's the bigger question people don't always say out loud: how deep does this really go? Because if situations like this can happen out in the open, inside a building packed with cameras, surrounded by dozens of jewelers in one of the most famous areas in New York, then what about the deals you don't see? Private transactions, DMs, high-end purchases through middlemen. Those are the situations with even less transparency. The jewelry scene in hip-hop has always been about more than just the metal. It's about success, image, and status, showing the world you've made it. But that same pressure to show success also creates risk. Because when demand is high and people aren't checking details, it opens the door for situations where everything looks right, but doesn't fully match reality. And that's exactly why 50 Cent reacted so fast when he saw his image being used. His response was immediate, calculated, and backed by documentation. Because in this kind of business, if you don't protect your brand, someone else might step in and profit off it before you even realize. That's how fast things move. Now, when it comes to Dejani, people can have mixed opinions about how he handled everything. Some might question going viral and confronting someone face-to-face inside a jewelry store. But one thing stands out: he did something that almost never happens in this space. He showed everything. He brought the receipt, ran the test on camera, and put the results out for millions to see. He basically said, "This is what it looks like from my side." That level of transparency? Rare in this industry. For years, people talked about these issues quietly. Now it's all out in the open. And once the internet gets involved, nothing stays hidden for long. So where does that leave things? 50 Cent got his apology, cleared his name, and made it crystal clear he had no connection to those chains. The legal case is over, but the message sticks. In a space like this, using someone's name or image without permission can come with real consequences. And this situation proved that. But even with that chapter closed, the story doesn't feel finished. Because once something like this gets exposed, it changes how everyone moves. Customers start asking questions. People double-check what they're buying. And trust becomes way harder to rebuild. Now every chain, every bracelet, every celebrity-style piece gets looked at differently. It's not just about looks anymore. People want proof, details, transparency. That shift, it puts pressure on the entire market. For jewelers, it's no longer enough to have a flashy store or a big social media following. People are paying attention differently now, and they're not as quick to believe everything at face value. At the same time, this is a wake-up call for artists and public figures too. Your image has real value. And if you don't protect it, someone else might try to use it in ways you never approved. So what started as one situation inside a single building turned into something much bigger. It opened the door to conversations people weren't really having out loud before. And once those conversations start, they don't just disappear. Now Trax NYC is stepping into another legal battle, but this time, on the other side, filing a case against AK Diamonds over alleged misrepresentation and the altercation that reportedly left him in the hospital on New Year's Day. At the same time, the AK brothers are facing assault-related charges, and their reputation is taking a hit, at least in the public eye. Whether the product quality claims actually get proven in court, that's still up in the air. But one thing is clear: the Diamond District isn't being seen the same way anymore. Now, it's not just insiders talking. Millions of everyday viewers have seen this unfold and are questioning what really happens inside those booths. The conversation has shifted. It's no longer about whether issues exist, it's about who might be next to get exposed. So now people are picking sides. Do you think Trax is telling the full story, or is there more happening behind the scenes? And if you've ever bought jewelry from the Diamond District, this might be the moment to take a closer look at what you actually own. Because this situation, it's not dying down anytime soon. And there's definitely more still waiting to unfold.